Popular comedian and actor Sam Kinison was booked to perform a comedy act on Saturday evening, April 11, 1992, at the Laughlin River Casino. The 14-story hotel casino tower was built along the Colorado River at the southern tip of Nevada in the 1980s. After the Laughlin gig, he would head up to Las Vegas for an engagement there. The week prior, Kinison had married his third wife, Malika, his partner of 5 years, and honeymooned in Hawaii. He decided to drive to the gig in his Pontiac Trans Am with his wife and others following. They decided to gas up in Needles before heading up River Road, going straight to Laughlin, Nevada.
I'm along a stretch of Needles Highway. It goes from Needles, California, all the way to Laughlin, Nevada, where on April 10th, 1992, Sam Kinison met his fate right out here on this road. I'm going to talk to you about it on this episode of History Hunters.
Sam Kinison was an American stand-up comedian and actor who was best known for his intense, sudden tirades, punctuated with his distinctive scream, similar to Pentecostal preachers.
You wanted iced tea? In my family, you came to me. My folks were actually critiquing it, that's how sharp they were. They're like, Sammy, this isn't brewed right. There's leaves in it, it hasn't been made properly, you're gonna have to do it again. I go, I'm 5 years old! I don't know how to brew tea, what are you, nuts? I can barely ride a bike, I'm your son!
Sam was born in 1953 in Yakima, Washington, to two parents who both were preachers. When he was just a toddler, the family moved to East Peoria, Illinois, where he was struck by a truck at the age of 3, which left him with brain damage and epilepsy. His parents divorced when Kinison was 11, and the family split up, with older brother Bill going to live with his dad, while Kinison remained with Mom against his wishes. Reportedly, this is how he became angry at a young age. Sam followed in his parents' footsteps and preached hell, fire, and brimstone in this church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now abandoned, it is a community assembly church, and it was here when he was 17 to 24 that he preached in the same way as his comedy routine shouting. He also became a good singer in this church, obviously from singing hymns.
Is your heart filled with pain? Shall I call back again? Tell me, dear, are you lonesome tonight?
After Kinison and his first wife divorced, he abandoned preaching and took up comedy. His career really took off after Rodney Dangerfield promoted him. In 1986, he would land a role in the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield.
Well, I didn't know you wanted to get involved with the discussion, Mr. Helper.
But since you want to help, maybe you can help me, okay? You remember that thing we had about 30 years ago called that Korean conflict? How come we didn't cross the 38th parallel?
How come? Tell me why! Say it! Say it!
Because Truman was too much of a pussy wimp to let MacArthur go in there and blow out those commie bastards!
Good answer.
So on that fateful day of April 10th, 1992, Sam Kinison and his new bride stopped here at this McDonald's in Barstow, California, and I think it's changed quite a bit. May have been the last meal that he had, because from here he went all the way to Needles, and then he went up the Needles Highway, and he died that night.
After driving 220 miles, Sam cleared out his car and his dog from his car in Needles.
He was supposed to fly in. He wasn't even supposed to be driving. And so we stopped and got gas. Well, then it started getting a little strange. He wanted us to empty out his car and put all the stuff in the van. And I said, we're only 20 miles from Laughlin. And he goes, no, I want everything out. And then he had this dog that he always took everywhere, Russo. And he said, put Russo in the van too. But I'm really confused here. We're 20 miles away. We've already driven, 220 miles. And then the last 20 miles, he wants us to do all this. Then he pulled out in front of me, which he never did. He didn't know where he was going. And we got on the next road to go to Laughlin, which was a river road. We drove about 3 miles, and it was getting to be dusk. It was a 2-lane road, and you could see this pickup passing all these cars.
One thing that you notice when you stop here, it's very risky because the shoulders of the highway are not very wide, and there's a lot of traffic, and there's a lot of hills here, so people are flying over. I'm trying to talk in between the traffic. But there seems to be a controversy as to exactly where this crash took place.
This map shows where most people erroneously believe the crash took place, east of the river on Highway 95. Bill, who was traveling in a van behind his brother, insists that they took what's called River Road, west of the Colorado River.
Now, if you want to listen to Bill, who was Bill Kinison. Bill Kinison was the brother of Sam Kinison. He was following in a different vehicle when the crash took place. They were driving from Needles up the Needles Highway, according to him, and he comes out here pretty regularly with a Sam Kinison lookalike. And so the picture that we are using, it kind of guides exactly where this took place. You have to look for these white buildings in the background, and that is your indication as to where this took place. So Bill says it happened out here, but the death certificate says it happened on the highway out of Laughlin, or Bullhead City. I think it's 95. So I'm going to go with the guy that was actually here at the crash site. Sam Kinison was playing a gig up in Laughlin, Nevada at the River Resort Casino. He decided to drive his Trans Am up here with his wife. He just married like the week prior, just got back from a Hawaiian vacation, and they were having a happy time, look forward to the future. He was 38 years old. Sam Kinison had a reputation for being on drugs quite a bit. He was doing all kinds of things he shouldn't have been doing. And like the James Dean incident, this accident was not Sam Kinison's fault. He was actually driving that way, and he saw this car coming, or this vehicle coming towards him. So he slowed down about 15 miles per hour, and he thought he could avoid it. The truck kept coming. The driver was intoxicated, obviously shouldn't have been driving. But this accident was not Sam Kinison's fault. But Sam Kinison had a pretty rough lifestyle when he found fame and fortune, like a lot of comedians do. You might remember the video that I did on Mitch Hedberg, who let fame and fortune and drugs, they just can't cope. But I came over here because I saw a stack of rocks here that I thought probably somebody put here as a memorial for Sam Kinison. Now, earlier I told you about this set of white buildings that everybody uses as the guide for the crash site, and they're right there, as you can see, a row of buildings, probably some farm ag buildings, but they're in the background of the famous Bill Kinison photo that's been circulated online. So it looks like people come up here and party and busted bottles everywhere. Look at this. We have a marker here.
Everywhere I go, people scream, It was a real funny idea about a year ago. Not the best logo in the world to have as a comic, people screaming at you. I mean, Robin Williams has Nanu Nanu. Steve Martin has, excuse me. People walk up to me, they act like they're looking at the angel of death. It's like, oh! I know you, man! Oh!
I jerked the door open. Sam was sitting in the driver's seat. The steering wheel was non-existent. The only marks on him is he had about 4 scratches on his forehead where he'd hit the windshield. And when I opened the door, he was still sitting in the seat, and he was saying, he looked at me and said, why? Why now? And I'm like, Sam, just lay still. He's trying to get out of the car. I said, just sit still. We got help on the way. I went around to check on Malika, his wife. She was unconscious, but we found out later she was unconscious because she was drunk rather than injured. And so then they said these guys were trapped in this truck, and there was gas pouring out of it. So I went over there, I jerked that door open, and got the driver out, just a young kid, 17 years old, a football player. And I told him, I want you to go over there and look at these people in that car. So he got out. Well, first he looked at his truck and said, look what he did to my effing truck. And I said, well, you got more worries than that. You're probably going to be working for these people the rest of your life. So go sit down. So he went over and sat down. Well, I went back to Sam, and he is scooting out of the seat. And we couldn't hold him in there. He weighed 280 pounds. Yeah. So I said, well, let's just lay him right here where the door and the car is. We laid him there. No one was holding him, so I didn't want him moved at all.
Yeah.
I was standing there. We had a couple other bystanders. Russo, which was a totally untrained dog, he was in the van. He had his paws up on the dash, and he's looking out the windshield over Sam's body or whatever.
Now, the weird story is that when he was pulled out of the vehicle, he seemed to be fine. He had like 4 scratches on his forehead. And then he started talking strangely. He started talking to this unknown being, maybe a heavenly body or heavenly creature or somebody, maybe somebody in the afterlife.
He was talking to someone else that we couldn't see, and he was focused on them. And he's like, I don't want to die. Then finally, the third time, he said, I don't want to die. And then whatever they said to him, he went, okay. So shortly after Sam Kinison was pulled out of his car here on the road, or next to the road, he took his last breath. He didn't even make it to the hospital in nearby Needles. Tragic. He was 38. Sam Kinison was a former hellfire and brimstone pastor who gave it up for a life as a comedian. We'll never know, will we, what actually took place there. Was he seeing beyond the realm? I tend to think that he was. One thing that you'll notice when you come out here is apparently a lot of people believe this is the site where the crash took place because of the vast number of beer bottles that are either intact or broken. And then there's this little side road here. I think the most tragic element about things like this that happen are that people finally are getting their act together and something really bad happens. Not sure why. That's even happened in my own family, that I've seen people finally get their act together and then some unfortunate incident takes their life, or they die mysteriously or suddenly, I guess I should say. So in case you're wondering where Sam Kinison is at rest, he's at rest at a cemetery in Oklahoma. Let's go there and show you what that grave looks like.
Sam Kinison is buried with family members in the Memorial Park Cemetery in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Ironically, Sam's new wife declined to attend the funeral and burial service, even after his brother offered to pay for her flight. This is the home in Tulsa where Sam Kinison and his brothers grew up. It is located at 3731 East 47th Place, and according to Zillow, was built in 1957. These are some of the pictures that I found on Zillow. It consists of 4 bedrooms and 3,000 square feet.
If Sam could come back, he wouldn't do it. There's a few things I've never asked God. My youngest brother was murdered. My mother died from being a victim of an armed robbery. So I've had some tragedies in my life. Sam died in a car wreck. I've never asked God why, because I believe that he knows all things. And so I don't have to know why. He is all powerful, but that's not the way it was supposed to be. And I do know the third thing, which is the most important. And that is, he loves me too much to hurt me. Nothing has ever happened in my life. And I've had things that people would think was bad, but not one of them was ever to hurt me. God loves me too much to hurt me. Too wise to make a mistake, too powerful to fail, and he loves me too much to hurt me. Those 3 things I've remembered my whole life. And that's what's got me through.
So I'm back home, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode of History Hunters. I know it's a little bit different than some of the ones that we have done, but I'm curious, did you like Sam Kinison's brand of comedy, or did you think it was just over the top? I'm not going to tell you what I think about it, but because I've been criticized in my videos for saying something personal about the subject matter, but I'm curious what you thought. If you could give us a thumbs up if you appreciated this video, I would like that as well. Now I'm curious, do you think that the location that we showed was the actual location, or do you think it was on Highway 95? I've seen evidence on both sides, and there's a lot of confusion, and as you can understand why the official documents say Highway 95. I don't believe that was the case though, because Bill Kinison knew where it took place. It was very traumatic, and I think he knows what he's talking about. As always, we appreciate your support of History Hunters. Thanks.